Hey guys! Welcome back to my channel. So today it's all about mustard spinach. So mustard spinach, it has been truly a joy to grow in the garden, and I am a newbie gardener. Seriously, this is my first year summer gardening, and it's a humble, meek little garden, but I think the star of the garden would have to be the mustard spinach. True, the beans are literally taking over the walkway, but I started this garden on July 16th, and the mustard spinach, the lettuce, the arugula, and the kale have truly come up fast, hearty, and I have made many mistakes along the way, such as not giving my garden enough room. You can literally see. So, first garden mistake. When I planted these rows, I thought everyone had more than enough room. A radish row, the arugula, the kale, which is sadly so overcrowded, and then the mustard spinach. The last row, the only row that somewhat has a tolerable amount of space, is the Swiss chard, but even that is not an entirely true statement, because as you can see, the beans, the ever encroaching beans, love to come in and try to tangle themselves up in the Swiss chard, and I'm constantly having to redirect the beans so they don't come in and choke out the Swiss chard in their attempt to just grow ever upward. But anyway, guys, so today it's all about mustard spinach. The mustard spinach is in full blossom, both my little guy in the container, and I also wanted to mention, so mustard spinach, for all us newbie gardeners or suburban urban gardeners who don't have space to put your garden in a plot, I've had as much success growing in the garden as I have had growing in small containers that I just maintain as my garden. And the amazing thing about small container gardening is you can move these around. So if something doesn't like a location, you can simply move it. So one mistake I've made in planting things is location, not giving things enough space. And once it's in the ground, I mean, you're kind of stuck with it. You're living with your, I don't want to say mistake, but you're living with your choices for the entire season on. And one decision that stares at me every day is the fact that I didn't give my veggies enough room to grow. But the mustard spinach and the arugula, being on outer rows, have flourished, but my kale here in the middle is hanging on just barely. But so all about mustard spinach. So mustard spinach, it is Kamatsuna. Oh, and guys, if I mispronounce things, I apologize. I'm trying my best. But all about mustard spinach. So, Kamatsuna, or Japanese mustard spinach. It is, oh, where's my clipboard? Sorry. Okay, the clipboard. Okay. So, mustard spinach. It is a variety of the plant species that yields the turnip, Napa cabbage, and Mizuna. I just Google searched this, but mustard spinach has an amazing amount of vitamins and minerals. So this is per 3.5 ounces or 100 grams. It has 2.2 grams of protein. It has vitamin A, and the percentage per daily nutritional value. So vitamin A, 62%. Vitamin B6, folate, B9, vitamin C. It has a ton of vitamin C, 150% of your daily nutritional value. So those were vitamins. It has a ton of minerals. It has calcium, iron, potassium. Mustard spinach, not only does it grow fast and grow well, especially for any and all newbie gardeners, or I'm sure any experienced, well-rounded gardener loves growing mustard spinach because it is a joy to grow. And I say a joy to grow because this summer when I started my garden first in the containers, I would look up whether a vegetable preferred the potting soil mix or like beans. Apparently beans don't like potting soil mix. They prefer good old-fashioned dirt, and they'll bring their own nitrogen fixing nodules to the show, whereas lettuce loves and needs a good potting soil that has a ton of, I believe, nitrogen. But anyways, so mustard spinach, I filled my little container with an all-purpose potting soil, and I believe it germinated. It was about half an inch within a week, and that is why I say it was such a joy to grow, because things like the spinach that I'm actually, quite frankly, I am amazed that my spinach was able to germinate, because I didn't realize spinach is very finicky with its germination temperature, and I don't know how in the world my spinach germinated in the middle of summer, but it did. But the mustard spinach, within 24 hours of putting seed to soil or seed to damp paper towel and leaving it in a somewhat sunny in the morning and then mostly shady place, within 24 hours my mustard spinach was germinated and was ready to transplant. And that is true with the arugula and the radishes, which also had an amazing quick germination rate. Things like my sunflowers, which are looking a little droopy, and it's because they've been in this little container too long. I need to transplant them. But I used my paper towel method with my sunflowers. I think it was about 5 days to a week before they germinated. Quite frankly, I was ready to give up on them and throw them away. And then I noticed that the sunflower seeds were barely just germinating, so I then stuck them in this little container. And one con about small container gardening is you fill your little container up with potting soil, and I would try to fill them up to the brim. But even so, day after day, water after watering, the soil level would dissipate, and that just takes room away from the roots. So I suspect that's what's going on here, because I have some marigolds. This little guy doesn't seem too happy, but the rest do. But the sunflowers are exceedingly unhappy, so I'm guessing it's the roots, and I need to transplant these. But anyway, guys, so it's been a joy gardening, and I look forward to fall gardening because we're going to try to take this gardening as far as it can go in terms of the seasons and in terms of just how long the plants last. Some things I've heard that, is it raspberries or blackberries or strawberries, are particularly hard to grow, in that if you're expecting something your first year, fat chance, it's not happening. But the mustard spinach has been a joy to grow, and it has offered surprises and delights around every corner. And at this point, I'm still enjoying bountiful harvest. Oh, and by the way, so when it comes to eating and harvesting your mustard spinach, so whether it's small, like these guys in the container, and I've noticed if you do keep certain things in the container, you'll keep them somewhat smaller, or rather, they'll be smaller. This group of mustard spinach is somewhat outperformed by its in-ground counterpart, but this has also gone into full bloom, just as the one in the garden has. And I've noticed these amazing little, I'm guessing, seed pods have started to develop, so hopefully there will be viable seeds for next year. But when it comes to eating your amazing nutritional mustard spinach, what I love to do is come and gather the leaves, and you can also eat the stalks. Sometimes they're, I'm just going to say it, earthy and tough, but the leaves are beautiful, and a personal favorite of mine is doing what I call a tuna melt, and I keep the tuna mixture. And when you make a tuna salad sandwich, you have to use a boiled egg. It makes all the difference in the world. Don't tell me why, but it does. But I like doing a tuna salad sandwich, the tuna mixture, cold or room temperature. I prefer it cold. But the bread, you have to, in a saucepan, melt as much butter as your diet will allow. The more butter, the better. And I like either a mild to sharp cheddar cheese or a pepper jack, but I prefer a cheddar cheese, also melty. And then you simply place your tuna salad sandwich mixture onto your bread, and gathering a bountiful layer. I like having a layer of mustard spinach, I'm not kidding, about a quarter of an inch thick. And it might seem a little much, but it's like having your salad in your sandwich all at once. And mustard spinach offers an amazing amount of vitamins and minerals, as well as protein. So, and I also enjoy my mustard spinach in a salad. I call it the Dion's salad. Now, all of us from New Mexico know and love a little place called Dion's. It's a pizzeria, and they have a turkey salad that is just incredible. But so I like making my own variation of that salad at home, and I use all the different varieties of my lettuce, and I use the star of the garden, of course, the mustard spinach, and tons of arugula and the kale. Can't forget the kale, because the kale is also one of those amazingly nutritional veggies. So I use a ton of kale, mustard spinach, and lettuce. because the lettuce is just a joy to have on your salads and sandwiches. And I cut up some turkey, shred mozzarella, and I use a delightful either raspberry vinaigrette or a traditional balsamic or Greek vinaigrette. And that's how I enjoy these awesome veggies from my garden. I need to research a couple more recipes because my recipes are actually rather limited. And actually, in Google searching how to eat your mustard spinach, what I've already mentioned, fresh in salads and on sandwiches. It can be stir-fried. I didn't realize mustard spinach could be stir-fried, but I love cooking Asian stir-fries with chicken and an Asian stir-fry frozen veggie mix. Maybe I should shy away from the frozen stir-fry mix and use my Japanese mustard spinach, stalks and all, in addition to my Swiss chard, which is another veggie I've had an exceedingly hard time cooking with. But, or the Swiss chard is a veggie I've had a hard time cooking with. The mustard spinach I've enjoyed in salads and in sandwiches, but I need to gather more recipes for you guys, and I will get on that. But anyway, guys, so enjoy mustard spinach. I have, and if y'all have any questions or comments, like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Alright, thanks guys.